Hey there, everybody from Forest Focus. Thank you so much for inviting me onto your podcast to talk about the upcoming players that may be signing with Forest. I do have this Forest kit from last season. I have a buddy of mine that is there from the UK. Here, let me just bring it right there from the UK, and he's a Forest fan. And I've always kind of enjoyed Forest, even though I didn't know much about it. I knew that it was kind of a sleeping giant, and that kind of made me relate a little bit to Botafogo, apart from the colors. But I do like me some red, even though Botafogo fans, for the majority, are not keen on the red color because our biggest rival has red. But let's talk about what I'm here for, right? Which is Igor Jesus and also Cuiabano and Jair. Let's talk. Let's start with Igor because that's the one that is most likely, for sure, going to happen. If I had to give it a 0 to 10 probability that this deal is going to happen, I'm going to give it a 9.5. It's basically a done deal that will get that will be finalized at the end of the World Cup of Clubs. That's why the initial agreed fee is 20 million euros, and that could go up based on Jesus' performance at the World Cup of Clubs and also the performances from Jair and Cuiabano. Igor is more of a false nine kind of forward, right? He is a striker with a great presence in the box. He's kind of a complete forward. Obviously, he's not a complete forward in the likes of, let's say, Lewandowski, right? Or let's say Harry Kane or something like that, where they are good in and outside the box. However, Igor not only aligns physical strength, he's very fast, he's very good on the ball, right? He's not going to be great with the ball like Yamal, for example, but he does have, in my opinion, he's better on the ball than Harry Kane. Inside the box, he has great aerial presence. He can beat most defenders in the air and score goals. He scored a lot of headers, not only for Botafogo, but for the national team. But like I said earlier, he also is kind of like your false nine. He's kind of a mix of a target man and a false nine, where he can come out of the box, receive to do a 1-2, or to even send a through ball for a teammate that's making a dummy run, and put them right in front of the goal. So Igor is really a complete striker that is a young striker. He's 23 years old, 24 years old, and he, I think, is not yet in his prime. I don't think Igor Jesus is in his prime yet, especially physically speaking. I don't think he's in his prime. A move to the Premier League would be so good for Igor. Talking about the player, because in my opinion, I'd love for him to stay about the Fogo. He, in just less than a year, he created such a strong identity with the supporters. The relationship between Igor and the supporters from Botafogo is almost near perfect. There's nobody in the Botafogo stands that is booing Igor Jesus. If he misses a pass, it's applause. If he misses a trap, it's applause. If it's he loses the ball, it's applause. It really is a really good symbiotic relationship, and that comes with Igor's goal celebration, which is based off of Dragon Ball from Goku, where he does a Kamehameha. And Igor does the whole thing where he pulls the energy, he goes Kamehame, and then everybody yells ha, and the whole stadium explodes, and it's a really cool celebration. But if it comes to the striker, man, you guys are really really lucky to have Igor. Of course, with any player that comes from South America onto Europe, Igor played in the Middle East before, but when it comes to those harsher conditions, there's going to be a period of adaptation. So he may not come in and do as well as he was doing with Botafogo, but he could, right? He can just come in and really fit in like a glove and start doing what he does best, which is be everywhere on the pitch. So I really hope he finds his place at Forest, and I hope that he can bring you guys happiness as much as he's brought us so far. Let's talk about Cuiabano. Cuiabano is another great finding. Let me just say real quick before I start talking about Cuiabano, Botafogo got Igor Jesus on a free transfer, and that's a scouting department. The work Botafogo has the best scouting department in South America. Now, Cuiabano is the same thing. The scouting department found Cuiabano as the third string left back at Grêmio. He was playing before he got injured. He lost space and he lost opportunities. And Botafogo saw in Cuiabano a great chance to bring him. Botafogo had somebody that had come from Grêmio at Botafogo, talked about the club. Cuiabano believed in the project, won the Brasileirão, won the Libertadores. And this year, Cuiabano is having the best start of his career. No, it's no surprise that he's attracting the attention from clubs not only in the Premier League but also in Serie A, just like Igor Jesus with Roma. Now, Cuiabano's kind of like, he's not a complete defensive fullback, but he is very great going forward. So much so that now Alex Telles, I don't know if you guys remember from Man United and Sevilla, Telles is the starting left back, and Cuiabano has now taken the left mid, left wing. He's like an attacking wing back at Botafogo. So he comes back to defend. Him and Telles will every now and then switch. When one goes forward, the other one stays back. But for the most part, Cuiabano is making those forward runs. Our manager, Renato Paiva, really likes to use the fullbacks as attacking wing backs. And with Cuiabano, Alex Telles can stay back a little bit and defend, not have to go so far up forward. And Cuiabano does all of the offensive transitions. So much so that he scored great long shot this year. He's got tons of assists. He is fast and he is physically strong, just like Igor Jesus. Cuiabano is very strong. So that's another good thing, that he can run back and forth all match long. So if that's a style of player the Forest can use, that can both play defensively but really shines going forward, playing from a defensive position, then he's going to fit in really well. He's also very, very young. So this is the scouting department doing the work that they're meant to do, right? Finding cheap players that are really good for below what their market value is, make them shine, and then sell them for what they're really supposed to be, and then some, right? So that's Cuiabano in a nutshell. Jair is perhaps the biggest example of what a good scouting department can do, because Jair is a prominent player in the academy division of the Brazilian national team. Jair is a tall center back. He's like 19 years old, first of all. He played all of Serie B with Santos last year. He constantly got national team call-ups, and now he's taken the starting position of the champions of South America. Granted, he was supposed to come as a substitute for Bastos Kasanga. If you guys have watched a little bit of Italian football, he played for Lazio back then as a fullback and center back. And Bastos had a very serious injury, so much so that he's still been out since the beginning of the year. And Jair came in and he took the position and made it his own, and he is showing all his qualities, and he's a very promising player. Jair is the kind of player that here in a few years, even if he doesn't transfer to Forest, if he stays at Botafogo, you can imagine clubs that finish top 5 in every single European league to be after this guy. He is going to be doing great things, and I think he's the future of Brazil's defense in the national team. I really do think that he's great with the ball. He knows how to dribble. He knows how to take a touch forward to beat the attacker that's trying to defend. The build up. He's able to beat them with speed. He's a defender. He's very tall, so he's not going to be the fastest, but he's very quick to move from point A to point B. And at times that puts him in trouble. The last match for the Libertadores, he did just that. He knocked the ball forward and it kind of escaped from him, and he tried to run to get to the ball, and he knew he was going to lose the ball, so he did a slide tackle, and he ended up sliding tackle a player without the ball, and it was a straight red. So it's something to think about. In the Premier League, this kind of play is not going to be very safe. He needs to understand what's going to happen over there. He's very physical as well. He's tall, but he's not very muscular, so he could end up getting knocked off the ball. But there's a tendency of players when they go overseas to gain a lot of muscular mass. And although Botafogo is doing much better in that department now since John Textor came in, and he's really put the team sort of in a European level with the facilities and everything else that comes along with it, the gym, the nutritionist, and all of that. So the club has seen a great increase, uh, a really big development in that department. So if you guys get all three, you're getting three very young, very promising players, with Igor Jesus and Cuiabano being more ready, more of a reality than Jair. I think Jair probably will maybe get loaned out to another club or be like the third string center back that gets built up in the background until he's ready to take that starting position. So that's it, man. If you guys need um, any other comments about some of these players, let me know. And I hope you stop there. Stop taking players from my club. And if you are, pay up, because these guys are worth every cent on the euro or on the dollar. So good luck to your season next season. I felt I was very happy to see Forest finish the way that they did, and it's a shame that they didn't get a Champions League spot. But with that said, see you guys on the next one.